may never be equal.
2014 AMA Motorcycle Hall of Fame inductee Byron Hines. From day one, the quarter mile has been Byron Hines' proving grounds.
You know, that's always been like standard in the magazines. You know, if you looked at any kind of spec or stat on a vehicle, we always had a quarter mile time. It was fun to do. If you did it at the drag strip, it was legal and you could go as fast as you wanted. It was always an indication of how much power the thing had, and it's always a standard that everybody kind of gauged every performance vehicle from. And it's just a hell of a lot of fun too.
As his experience grew, so did his reputation and wisdom. Despite his desire to ride his machines, he realized he wasn't as fast as his bikes, and it was time to find another rider.
I don't even know that I could have been a drag racer without Byron Hines. The difference of having Byron Hines for your crew chief and not meant the difference between winning and losing.
And win they did. A quiet and humble man, Byron Hines led his engines, and Terry Vance do the talking for him. Together they won 14 national drag racing championships.
Well, my first contact with drag motorcycles in general was at the U.S. Nationals right here in Indianapolis. That was the era when he was just beginning, that's the 70s, when he was just beginning to hook up with Terry Vance, and their brains kind of just melded perfectly, and they turned into such a powerhouse of a team. And just watching him then, you knew that this guy was all about precision and engineering. And he was always looking ahead at every detail right here all the time.
While Terry built the business side of the partnership, Byron concentrated on engine performance and racing. The victories just kept piling up to the point where even Byron can't give you an idea how many race wins there are.
I know there's quite a few of them, but I just don't really keep track of that. I mean, I probably should, but I just haven't.
The humble nature of the man cannot hide the impact he has had on the sport of professional motorcycle drag racing. The numbers are indeed staggering. 23 national drag racing titles, 130 national drag racing wins. And that's not counting the engines he has provided to other drag racing teams, which have resulted in 3 additional championships and over 50 more wins. By the way, Byron also built the engines that broke both the 7 and 6 second mark for motorcycles in the quarter mile. In addition to the drag racing accomplishments, Vance and Hines were a powerhouse in AMA road racing, winning 3 national titles.
I wouldn't say I'm the best. We're the people we work with, the competition we get to work with, the racers we work with, we made a lot of mistakes. Don't get me wrong. I worked with Terry for years and years, so we learned quite a bit there. We learned what was important, what the trends were, what to stay with and what to ignore and what to embrace. A lot of the knowledge is just stuff you learn on the track and then applying it. But we did a lot, we were diversified. We did a lot of different things. We ran top gas, we ran top fuel, we ran pro stock, we ran junior gas, A fuel. We did a lot of different things, and we had a lot of exposure to different types of racing. So that just, at that time in the 70s and 80s, it was, you just soaked it in. There was so much stuff going on and so many good people to work with.
He doesn't really take a lot of the credit that he deserves, but he's a hard worker and he's the smartest guy I know.
I have the utmost respect for him. He's a very special guy. I've never met anyone that has kind of the moral center that he has, the integrity that he has, and he's a wicked smart guy.
The humble man from Nebraska who was fascinated by motorcycles and making horsepower on the drag strip is part of one of the most respected brands in the motorcycle business today. The highly competitive, low-cost Vance and Hines Harley-Davidson Road Racing Series is now in its 4th season. And from their shops in California and Indiana, Vance and Hines exports exhaust systems and accessories around the globe.
He's had engines that were winning races in the 70s, and he's got engines winning races in the 2014. So, I think as far as dedication and commitment to the sport in all of motorcycle racing, he's probably the best ever.
To be honest with you, I owe everything to him because I'm positive I would be a parts counter mechanic or a parts counter guy somewhere doing something if it weren't for him.
In terms of history, I think as far as anybody that wasn't racing a motorcycle, he can stand at the top or right next next to anybody at the top. And as far as supporting motorcycle racing, I mean, I don't know of anybody better that has achieved more than he has.
For his groundbreaking achievements in motorcycle competition, the AMA Motorcycle Hall of Fame proudly welcomes Byron Hines.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Byron Hines. Presenting the AMA Motorcycle Hall of Fame ring tonight is Hall of Fame member Phyllis McClure, who, together with her late husband Jim, won 19 National Drag Bike Championships.
Byron Hines, in recognition of your 23 NHRA National Drag Racing Championships, 130 National Drag Racing wins, scores of ET and top speed records, the 1990 AMA Super Sport Championship, and your legacy with Vance and Hines, it is my great honor to welcome you to the AMA Motorcycle Hall of Fame.
It's a great honor and privilege to be standing here tonight. I would like to thank the AMA for the special recognition. I am deeply humbled and appreciative to be inducted into the AMA Motorcycle Hall of Fame. Throughout my career, drag racing has been my primary focus, but I've always had an interest in all forms of motorcycle competition. Along the way, I've had the opportunity to meet and work with some outstanding individuals and some great race teams. There are a few special people that I would like to thank at this time. Gene Trovall, Keith Van Hart, Bill Harris, Pat Alexander, U.S. Suzuki from the late 70s until today. Yamaha USA, Larry Griffiths, Keith McCarty, Harley Davidson, Willie G. Davidson, of course, Ron Hutchison, Scott Miller, Mike Kennedy, Bob Verschone, Dick Parisi, and Chris Scudo. During the last 35 years, I've worked with some very talented people at Vance and Hines. We worked very hard together to achieve our goals, but it really never seemed like work. We just had a lot of fun getting the job done. Special thanks to my best friend Terry. He really was, and still is, the dynamo behind the Vance and Hines brand. Thank you. I would not be here without the support and love of my wife, Janice. While I was off racing, and working late at the shop, she was always there to take care of the kids and provide unwavering support for whatever I needed to do. Also, my children, Matt, Jennifer, and Andrew, and my son-in-law, Joe Vanderbrink. All four have been involved in making the racing business a success. Thank you. In closing, I would like to thank everyone for the support on this very special occasion. It's a once-in-a-lifetime achievement, and I deeply appreciate it now.